It's Wednesday. We got to go to the VA office in Oceanside and get some blood work taken for that new medication. And these guys are over here putting in a hole. They're putting in a hole for a new telephone pole. And they're in straight up rock. They've been after it for the past like 2 days, 3 days. And they're in some tough material, that's for sure. So we'll go get this blood work taken. We got to pick up some stuff at Home Depot that got delivered there, just because I rather it delivered to that spot and I don't have to worry about it getting taken at my house. And yeah, we'll see what else the day brings. We just got over here to the Oceanside VA. We'll go get our blood drawn and then head on home. Well, we are on the way down to La Jolla because the Oceanside clinic will not do my blood work there because my blood work was ordered stat. And I guess that means that they need to do the testing on it right away or something, and they can't do it in Oceanside. So now I gotta drive down to La Jolla and get the blood work taken down there. So scratch out. Good thing we're not working at Pendleton right now, and I can scratch off, 3-4 hours of my day, because that's what's gonna happen now. So yeah, we're going down to La Jolla. Not very stoked on that, but it's like it needs to get done. I need to get this blood work taken so that we can figure out if I can take this medication. But it just is really annoying that they have a blood draw clinic lab. They have a lab up in Oceanside and they can't take it there, and I have to go to La Jolla. Like, that's the whole point of having the Oceanside stuff, is so that I can not have to drive all the way to La Jolla every time I need to get stuff done. So I'm now being forced to park out here in the farthest back parking lot, which is one big fight that I've had here. So the only patient parking at the VA in San Diego outside of that parking garage is all the way back here in this parking lot. And you know what we're gonna do today? Today, we're gonna measure how long it is for me to walk from this back parking lot to the front entrance. Because the thing that's messed up about this is, if you have a van or some type of a heavier vehicle and you are in a wheelchair, you cannot park in the parking garage. The weight limit of the parking garage is 6,000 pounds. And I'll take a video of it as we walk by it. So 6,000 pounds, right? You have to think how much weight that is. This truck is a 2022 Ford F-250. Not that, I mean, it's a big truck, but it's not that big of a truck. You can still go up to a 3,500. If I forgot to do it, this is the second take with the microphone. So let's put this over here. So GVWR of the truck is 10,000 pounds. You can't do more than 2,300 pounds of weight in the truck, which then comes down to a 7,698 pounds of weight that this truck, a 2022 Ford F-250, has. That's not including the fact that I have a fuel cell back here. The fuel cell back here weighs however much it weighs, plus I have 75 gallons of diesel. It's full right now, so that's 75 gallons of diesel, plus the headache rack and the cooler and the fifth wheel plate, plus the bumper, the front bumper. So there's a bunch of extra weight, right? So my whole thing is, hold on, I got to close one of these windows. I didn't close that one. Okay, so let's get back into it, right? So say this truck weighs 8,000 pounds. close to 8,000 pounds. I think it actually weighs, when I scale it, we're probably like almost 9. So you have a 9,000 pound truck, and the 9,000 pound truck cannot go in a 6,000 pound parking garage. Could it? Yeah, probably. If I didn't care and no one cared about it, I probably could. But I'm 3,000 pounds over the weight limit of that. And this right here is a perfect example of my problem here. This is a person with disabled plates. You can see they have some type of a mobility device right there on the front of the vehicle. And they cannot park in the parking garage. And they can't park in the parking garage because either that truck is too tall or it's too heavy, or you can't get it out, or you can't offload the scooter because it's in the front, whatever the reason is. But when you look at people who have wheelchairs, these guys with wheelchairs, they have, let's do a little track. Getting a little off topic. I'm a little bit heated about this. This is something that does frustrate me, because let's record it. So let's go walk in and we'll record. So I just started recording. We're still another aisle or two away. Like this guy right here, he's got an F450. You cannot park an F450 in these spots. My F250 barely fits in these spots. And that's probably his only truck. And that is also more than 6,000 pounds. I didn't really understand how those, you see those little cranes in the back of people's trucks for the wheelchair? I didn't understand how it worked until I was watching Nevin Hart on Instagram, and he has a wheelchair and it has one of those cranes, and he has to park in the handicap spot with the hash marks, and the crane comes out, the crane puts the wheelchair down, and when it does that, you need to have the side spot. If you have one of those, you can't park and use the handicap crane in this parking lot. It doesn't work. There's no way you could do it. You can barely fit an SUV in this parking spot, let alone a truck. When I have to come here in my work truck, my Dodge, it's a dually, and I cannot fit in this parking lot. The truck has got a 9-foot bed. It's a crew cab. It does not fit here. And technically, I have handicap plates. So where is the handicapped accessible parking for me? And where is the handicap accessible parking for someone with a wheelchair out in this parking lot back here? There's not. So, look, 6,000 pounds. The weight limit is 6,000 pounds. It doesn't even tell you how high it is, which is also kind of ridiculous. Well, we got our blood draw. This guy's got a knee brace on and is walking from the back parking lot, like I'm talking about, all the way to the front. Literally the stuff that I'm talking about when I'm talking about these issues. So I'm measuring it on Onyx, how far the walk is out here, because it's all the way out here. I mean, there's the hospital, there's the parking garage, and then here's the parking lot, and the only place for general parking is back here. So you have to park at the farthest back spots of the parking lot as a patient. People that work here, critical access, carpool, van pool, transit benefits, people that work here get to park up there in the front of the parking lot. And then the veterans, the patients, have to park back here. Handicap plated vehicle, and he can't park in the parking garage. He'd probably, he'd hit. That roof thing, that roof thing would hit. And then look at me. I'm on the line. Like, if I had a crane, luckily right now there's a spot, but if I had a crane, I need this spot to be open to get my wheelchair in and out. So my thing about it is, if I have a wheelchair and I have to park out here, where is the accessible parking that I would need for my crane to come out, put my wheelchair down, I could get in my truck, then it could take my wheelchair and put it back. If someone else parks here or this parking lot is full, where do you park? Because there's no options. There's no outside handicap spots. They are all inside the parking garage, and they're all off of that bottom floor. The bottom floor was the compromise that I had received the last time that I brought this up as an issue. The bottom floor was what they said, well, there's nothing below it, so you can park in the bottom floor of the parking structure. But today I went there to go park and I could not park. First off, they told me I couldn't park there because I don't have a permit. And then second, they told me that, well, first off, I went in there and the security guard stops me and tells me that I can't park in there because I don't have a permit. The second issue is there is physically no parking in there. So that was where I was told to park by the police major of the VA San Diego healthcare, whatever. And I physically couldn't park there today because there was no spots. So then I have to park back here. Obviously today, the cart was going by and I was kind of just proving a point of I'm gonna walk and see how far it is. We were just on the phone with my wife and I'm dealing with these not really issues that affect me that much, but I complain about it because this does affect other people. A lot of people just won't deal with it because it is the VA. And my wife went to a doctor in Utah. She just got the doctor bill, and obviously the VA has to pay it. It's not her responsibility to pay it. But when she looked at what they were charging for, she called because they charged $600 for maybe a 15-minute appointment, and they didn't even perform anything. But on the things that they're charging for, it says that they did perform a procedure for her foot. And they're trying to charge the VA for over $600 for something that they did not do. And it's just a common thing. Like, these type of issues are why it's so hard for veterans to get care, because people do stuff like that. And it's just absolutely ridiculous because she's supposed to go back there. So she's going to go back for a follow-up. And what are they going to charge for the same thing again? Like, they didn't even perform anything, but they charged like they did a procedure, which is just, it just blows my mind. So I told her that she needs to reach out and complain about it. But I also complain about everything around here because I have the time to do it. And, you know, my biggest thing is I know a lot of people aren't going to complain about these things. I was waiting for the blood draw. I'll show photos. I got there at 12:15. I didn't get seen till like 12:51. But I'm in the blood draw waiting, and I was sitting next to a gentleman who was a Desert Storm veteran in the Army, and he received a traumatic brain injury from a 5-ton. The door on the rear fell on his head and hit him in the head. He said it was like 2 inches away from it would have been a fatal accident. And he has, you know, all these issues now, and he had this traumatic brain injury, and obviously the follow-on issues that go with it. And he lost everything: his wife, his family. And I was telling him about a treatment that one of the guys that I was on a fire with this year, Mike, he got this mushroom treatment through the VA, and it said it changed his whole life. It was like a light switch. It solved all the problems that he was having. So I told this guy about that experience, and I was like, well, maybe this is something you can ask for and see if it's something they could do. Worst case, they say no, but maybe it could help you. So I talked to him for probably 45 minutes at least. Super nice dude, but yeah, he's just been going through it. And I just always try to like use experiences from other people that I've heard or seen or dealt with myself and try to help other people there, because a lot of people just don't want to deal with it because it's such a pain in the butt to do anything around the VA. So, you know, they know that we don't really want to deal with it. And I have time, so I fight a lot of these issues. and I try to educate as many people about how to do things or how to navigate stuff, because I've learned the hard way, so might as well use my experience to help people. But now it's 1:40. We're leaving the VA, and we'll get some food on the way home because I haven't eaten anything yet. I didn't expect to do this. And then we'll stop at Home Depot on the way home, pick up our stuff that's waiting for us, and then yeah, we'll see what else today brings. You never know. It's always something around here. We have made it to Home Depot finally. It is 3 o'clock. That's how long out of the way it took to do that. We left the house at like 11. So let's get our stuff. Let's get our order. Got our stuff. I gotta look when we get to the truck. I should have a bunch of blades for the saw that should be here too, but I don't know if they got here yet. Apparently my blades have not got here yet. They should be here today, it says, but well, it is 3:30 and I'm finally getting lunch. We are here at Pedro's Tacos. This is where we always get food. It's right down the street. So we'll get some food, and then we got a job walk to go do. It doesn't stop. It does not stop. We just stopped over here at our mechanics. We got some work that we're gonna do here, and then we're gonna go look at another job. We just left the job that we were looking at, kind of coming up with a game plan, and now we're off, headed back to home.